Hey y'all, welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Toolizzforyou, Toolizzforyou.
I'm cpredmor on Ravelry, and I haven't posted anything in Lord knows how long on Instagram. But when I do, it is for the...
Knitting in Our Jeans?
Yes, I just lost my bigger needle.
Oh no.
That's why knitting in rounds for this thing is not... This is... sorry guys, I'll have to figure this out. We'll figure it out. I can't tell. Well, anyway. So, on Instagram, I do Knitting in Our Jeans. And on Ravelry, I'm cpredmor.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I went on the floor again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So one of these is bigger than the other.
Yes.
That's the 1.5.
Okay. And you're going up to a 2?
I'm hoping. Yes.
Okay.
And that's the one that's in the yarn now. That is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that worked out.
Yeah.
I'm a little skeptical.
Okay.
But whatever.
So, we wanted to, I guess, start off acknowledging what happened in Atlanta. In the Atlanta area. And that once again, we denounce all hate and discrimination and white supremacy here at Knitting in Our Jeans and in this household.
How dare someone say, I had a problem, therefore I'm going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. So,
I mean, Richard makes all kinds of noises, but I don't say, oh, well, that really annoys me. Why don't I take you out? I mean, that's ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I have a problem. Instead of working on it for himself, no, he's going to take out other people.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. So just remember their names, and they had families.
Yes.
And none of this is okay.
No.
So we just wanted to start out with that. As a reminder that we are,
You know, I have a problem with yarn, but I don't take out yarn dyers. I mean, really. Think about it. Things that you're really focused on, care about a great deal.
Passionate.
Do you notice I have a lot of yarn? Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously some people would say that's a real problem. Well, it's not, because I worked and made a good salary. Great. But I could turn around and say, well, they influenced me to buy all this. And if I take them out, then they can't influence others. That's baloney. Mm-hmm. I need to be in charge of what I do.
Yes.
And that's how I feel about it.
So we just wanted to acknowledge that. And just a reminder that we are a anti-racist space and anti-white supremacist space. And we do not stand for that in this house.
We just don't stand for bigotry at all, which comes from a feeling of power. Well, we have to add anti-women in there, too.
Well, yes.
Yes.
So moving on to our projects of the week. I was hoping to have an entire blanket border to show you, but I forgot a skein of yarn at my apartment. So I have 3 sides of a baby blanket border done. It's all done in these decreasing triangles, which gets really tedious real fast. So I'm really excited to have only one more side to go, and I will be pleased to then start the next part, which is building the middle, which you pick up the stitches and decrease into.
I think that's gorgeous.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to be able to give it to the mother. Hopefully, I will be vaccinated. We don't know. We still don't know when I will be eligible to be vaccinated. But hopefully I will be able to be vaccinated by the time that they are having their baby shower, so that we can go.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe you will also be invited to that one.
Oh, well, cool.
And I figured you would enjoy it if we
would
could
be
both
fun.
go.
Yes.
Well, and if we can't, we will both be online. I can come over here.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so that's out of the... Did I bring the book upstairs? Of course I didn't. The 60, I think it's 60 Baby Blankets by Vogue. I will put the link down below as usual. But that, and actually I have been weaving in my ends as I've been going along, which is very good because each of those triangles has 4 ends each.
Oh my.
Oh yeah. So.
That's right at the beginning and the end. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God bless you. God bless you.
It's very dry in New York, so I am, and also it's getting warmer, so things are starting to think about blooming.
I think these are the needles I had in there, so I think I want to go to a 2.5, not a 1.5.
Oh, I don't know.
I know you don't know.
I don't know. So I've been working on that, and obviously Mom is working judiciously on something over here. What are you working on,
Just
Mom?
a minute.
We're getting to the end of a row
here that I have to do something, and then I'll be more than happy to discuss it.
Okay.
But right now, if I talk about it or do anything except count, it'll be a mess.
Oh.
Okay, so I have started Skew socks twice.
Yeah.
The first time I was watching television. I can only blame it on myself. I was watching television and I didn't read the decreases at the beginning of the rounds, at the end of rounds. So it just kept going like that. So this is a Skew sock. Your heel is done off to the side. So the left sock and the right sock are different in the heel placement. So the left sock has it skewed off to the left from how the needles are set up with beginning of round and center of round. So I have done the foot, I have done the heel, and now I'm doing the leg. And it's at this point, and you can see that it's an incline.
Mm-hmm.
And so what is being done now is there's short rows going on to build up this side of the sock. The instructions say that the author of this pattern has 2 degrees in mathematics. And so she has mathematically done this pattern so that it will end up straight.
It will.
And it will. We've seen it. I've tried it on my left foot. I think I could have done with about a 1/4 inch left foot.
Okay.
I know my right foot is larger, so I may just make this an even pair, using this left sock as the indicator of where to start the heel, and then it should be fine for my right foot.
And then for your left foot, you could always, like, take out the bind off and go back a few rows.
I could.
You could just unpick a few rows up the top.
I could.
It'd be a little bit more difficult because it's the cast on, but you could do it.
We could do it. We're not that worried about it.
Okay.
One of the reasons I did this is one that was sitting here on the desk, and I wanted to
clear off your desk.
Clear off the desk, accept that challenge. But the other one is that one pair of my pink socks that I had done for Tour de Sock, they were washed. I wore them.
This is also not the first season you're wearing them.
No, but a day later, I look at my heel, and because I noticed, I thought I felt the floor. I did. The entire heel was out. The bottom of the heel. I never wear out the back of my heel. My back of my heel is never where the pressure
It's
goes.
Always the under.
It's always the bottom,
for me too.
Because I don't know why. I wear them as slippers.
Well, it's also because where your heel is, it makes sense to me.
Well, it makes sense to me too, but the reinforcement in socks is at the back of the heel, if you've noticed.
Really?
Yes, it is. That's because
on store-bought socks?
On handmade socks. That's that slip one.
The heel flap?
Yeah. Is where they have that extra padding. And that's never where my problem is. So anyway, I darned my sock. And I used some, what is that Rowan yarn that's very light?
Mohair?
It's mohair.
The Kid Silk Case?
Kid Silk Case. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I couldn't find my black Kid Silk Case because some part of this has been being packed up. we were going to put the house on the market and then move into an apartment that I had found. Only the very week that we started getting this house ready to really sell. We've been doing some work all along, but Richard finally got a shot, so he was ready to people walk through. That apartment went to contract. It had been out of contract for 5 months. 5 months?
Mm-hmm.
4 months. That week, it went into contract.
I'm sorry, Mommy.
Well, now we wait for another apartment like that one
Mm-hmm.
to come on the market. He said today that he really doesn't want to sell this house until we have someplace to go. And really, other than that apartment, he has no idea of where to go.
He has no feelings?
No feelings. I don't think he doesn't want to leave New York.
Well, no.
He's very settled in Long Island.
Yeah, I think it's moving back to our hometown.
I think so. So anyway, I had started packing up. So my black kid silk case and all of my shawl lace weight is packed. So I found a very odd color kid silk case, bright orange.
Nice.
And I mixed it with a black.
Okay.
So, and I did the darning from the inside of the sock. So, I'm happy with it. It's my sock.
Yeah.
No one's going to see that heel.
No.
And it's fixed. But I thought, I'm going to pick up and work those Skew socks, and then it'll give me another pair of socks. I wear socks like this with my sneakers when I go to physical therapy. So, they're being used a lot. I'm at the point, at the foot, you can learn the patterning pretty easily. It's do something for one row and knit around for the next row. So do something, knit around, do something, knit around, until it reaches 7-something inches, and then you do your heel. But once you get to the heel and then from there up, almost every other row is different. There's still a row that you're knitting. On the leg now, that's not true at all. You're doing short rows, so every row is different. And so I need to be looking at my instructions for this. But so there are a couple reasons why I had started with this sock. But I think the overarching thing was that I found a hole in the heel of one of the socks that I had been in my regular rotation, and I thought, I really should do another sock. I did not use the orange, obviously, in this. I would use the black for darning when this one goes. But I found it really a bizarre thing that all of a sudden this heel was out. And the other sock, but the other sock, the heel was fine. It's not even threadbare.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Watch in like 2 or 3 weeks, that other sock will go.
It could.
Because I've had that happen with some.
Anyway, so I picked up, and I'm thinking that I might be able to finish this week.
Okay.
It's a possibility. So finish one sock in 2 weeks. I'd say tonight, but there's a basketball game on. Yes.
It is March Madness, y'all.
The big dance is here.
We are having a long-awaited March Madness.
Yes.
If anyone has been watching, you will have seen the Leslie. Oh my gosh, I just lost her name. Leslie from SNL.
Not Uggams. That's another Leslie. I don't have my iPad.
It's LES Dog on Instagram. I know her. I can't think for that. I'm looking it up.
Anyway, she's very excited about
Leslie Jones.
Yes.
So she has a commercial for Uber Eats, I think, where it's her from last year who was so hype but did not get a March Madness, and then her from this year who's like, no, we're gonna be chill this year. We are going to be chill, and it's like, no, we are not. We need to make up for last year, so we will be both.
The brackets are busted.
Oh, yeah.
There have been so many underdogs winning. It's been amazing.
Loyola this morning won against...
and UVA lost against Ohio.
And then
UVA was a 4 against a 13.
Yeah, and then there have been a few others.
Not that I disparage the teams that won. God, they work hard for it.
Yeah, completely.
But I'm a UVA graduate. It would have been nice for us to win. Just saying.
Just saying, Mama.
Just saying.
Yeah, so a few of our other bracket busters, yes, so there was one.
You said Georgetown is out.
Georgetown's out.
Duke didn't even make it.
I didn't even realize that.
Duke did not even make it for the first time in God knows how long. Duke didn't even make it.
Oh, my word.
And they're a perennial in here.
Yeah.
And sometimes, often winners. So they didn't even make it. It's been a very bizarre college sports year. I got an email from Manhattan College that they say they're going to be fully on campus in the fall.
Nice.
Yes.
The big one was Oral Roberts, number 15, beating Ohio State, number 2, on Friday. Oregon beat Tennessee, a 12 beating a 5. Not unheard of. North Texas beat Purdue. North Texas is who Villanova is playing against tonight. Syracuse beat San Diego. Rutgers beat Clemson. Honestly, right now it's a toss-up because the seasons have been so off.
They haven't been able to get the practice in. They've not been able to meld as well and really build their talents. And I think that's true of football teams as well as basketball teams. We do want to shout out to the women's NCAA that they made a fuss about the really poor training facilities that had been set up where they were. They had one weight bench and one set of weights for 64 teams, whereas the men's was set up entirely the way it's going to be throughout the tournament. That's not right. That's not fair. And they showed opposing pictures. And I know Dick's Sporting Goods, as well as another sporting goods store, and I can't remember their name, shouted out and said, "We'll provide." And at that point, the NCAA says, "Yeah, we'll deal with this." And overnight, they managed to find a spare huge room, a spare
ballroom
for them to completely outfit, as should be. Why should it only? It's been tough enough. Why should it be that only the Sweet 16 actually get to work out? Please. Yeah. That would be, 2 weeks from now? Do you know how out of shape you can get in a week, much less 2 weeks?
And I believe there was one game that was called due to a COVID, but I don't see it. So I don't remember. I remember hearing it on the news last night.
The team went home.
But I don't remember.
I don't remember who it was. They had a COVID case.
Yeah, on their team.
They hadn't.
They hadn't arrived yet?
They hadn't adhered to COVID precautions. Protocols, yes.
And I don't see it on here, but just the NCAA tournament is happening this weekend. It began this weekend. It'll continue tonight or today and tomorrow, and then it will pick back up on Saturday. So
because they're going to go into virtual classes.
Well, yeah. Everyone is staying in Indiana.
In Texas.
For the men's and Texas for the women's.
Yes.
Because they're using the NHL bubble system.
Yes, because now that the teams are meeting each other, and although basketball isn't a contact sport like football, they're blocking and they're running, they're face to face with each other, and so you don't want the teams bringing back communicated air with its attendant germs back to campus, and so they're staying in place for the
and also then not allowing campus to come back with them.
Right, exactly.
So that's happening. So those games we watched yesterday. Well, we watched Friday night and Saturday night, or some of Saturday night. We're gonna watch again tonight.
While we're working on our handicrafts.
Yes,
because if we really pay attention, they lose.
They start losing if we pay attention. This year is better than 2018, where I was not allowed in the living room at all because every time I stepped into the living room, they stopped winning. And so I had to listen to it from either the kitchen or the dining room. That was a fun year. You're going to get a 2.5 needle?
Yeah, we also want to talk about that.
Okay. So I have been working also on my Earth and Air. I think I said that right this week. I know I misspoke last week. I believe it is the Earth and Air. Where is my pattern? Pattern. Come back here, pattern. What do you call it? Earth and Air by James Watts. So I have separated for the front. I did, I think it ended up being, 11 inches. It's essentially the length of my upper arm now, or my lower arm, which is a good, length. I am now doing the front, and you can see it's very light and airy, and it's going pretty quickly. I could see this being a weekend project if I were being, monogamous on it, but I'm not. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I think it'll be really nice to wear during those like transitional periods in seasons, and for maybe warmer days,
like today.
But yes, like today. So yeah, that's the other knitted project I've been working on. Haven't touched my socks. Haven't touched my Love Witch. Haven't touched the Penguino. Yeah. Oops. I forgot to bring up what I spent an entire evening doing.
Well, I'll talk about this if you want to run down and get it. So I have worked on my counted cross stitch. Now you'll notice that there's still an open hole here. And but there's a lot more done here. So what I've been doing is what I said last week, is I will pick up and work on the stitches here, but I'll finish out that color over here in the kind of blank half. The problem is that this space is now made up of colors that maybe need 2 or 3 stitches, and then they're done. And then I need to go over here. So I have been working very hard on this. Maybe this week I'll be able to finish that tiny hole, and I'll just be able to concentrate here. I do want to, once I finish this hole, I'm going to be working on this top part so that I can roll the whole thing up, because there's a fair amount down here that hasn't been dealt with.
There's this hole,
there's
this big hole right here.
So this then needs probably down to here, so down to row 16. But we'll see how it goes in order to roll it up. So that's my plan of attack. Work on my skew sock, at least finish skew sock 1. Work on this, and then we'll see if we have any extra time.
So, I know I've talked to you all before about my Tamora Pierce mystery stitch along. I now have the full one side of the frame done.
Yes, nice.
Of the middle of the largest color section. It will be outlined in a darker brown as well, but I'm going to be doing as much of the very light color first, because it's the like center of the wood frame.
Okay.
So it's the most stitches, so I might as well just keep going on. But what I did this week was I went and I met up with a friend of mine who I was splitting threads with, and I made cards up for myself and a third friend who are doing this. And so I made my cards.
Those are nice.
So my cards are reusable. I use Sharpies and then nail polish remover to remove them when I'm done with the project. And all but 4 colors, I think, I have also done approximate yardages on the cards of how much, so if there you can find calculators that have your conversions of stitch count on a certain count fabric to how many
Yards?
yards you will need of a thread to do the project. So I have done that. I put it in a spreadsheet. I then went through the spreadsheet and put them all on cards for myself. I put them on cards for, as I said, a friend of mine. And there are the 2 tans, as I just mentioned. So there's the lighter tan, and then the slightly darker tan.
Very slightly darker.
That will have a lot of them. And then there is one other color, and did I put that one on here? I put 400 and something on here. 400 and something has a big section. I don't know why it does. But yes, I have those threads. Oh, and I have not put, on my own, I did not put the white because I do not want it to get dirty. So I'm leaving it in my little pouch until it is required.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so I have been working, when not working on the brioche or the baby blanket, I have been, my goal is to have the frame done by the beginning of the stitch along, which begins, I believe, in June or July. But there is going to be a freebie set of bookmarks via their Facebook account and Facebook group that I also will probably make a few of. So I did account for that in the threads as well. But yeah, so I spent an entire evening putting these together for myself and my other friend.
Nice. That's really nice.
Yeah, so I have to drop that off to our other friend, but I did not realize it was going to take that long. I'm glad I did it.
The organization takes up quite a while, which is one nice thing about these dimension kits. They have it all set up already on cards, and the colors are separated out.
And part of the reason, what I did do for myself is I did buy pre-gridded fabric.
Right. So she doesn't do the stitching.
Well, so that I don't have to do the grid stitching.
Right.
The one thing is that this is marked at every 10 boxes, but it is on 28 count linen. So I am going to I am stitching over 2, so every box on here for me is 5.
Right.
So it's very interesting, but I'm getting there. I got one. I'm proud of myself. I got one edge done.
Absolutely.
So we'll see how they go. But the bookmarks start to be released beginning of April. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right, so I wanted to talk about this last week, but it never got up from the kitchen table. This came from the Wall Street Journal on a week ago Saturday, and you can see that it is advertising a Bottega Veneta suit.
Mm-hmm.
It is crocheted.
Mm.
Look at that. So I didn't even look at how much it would cost. I am assuming it would be a very pretty penny. It is lined. I can see that it is lined. And I have a feeling it's double crochet.
Interesting.
It looks like a double crochet to me.
Or a Tunisian, sort of.
Could be Tunisian, but it is definitely crocheted.
Yeah.
So there's that. So, and do you want to talk about what we've been doing this weekend?
Untangled.
Untangled.
Across the pond?
Yes.
Yes. So, Untangled Across the Pond occurred this weekend. There will be another Untangled sorry, I want to pick up my thread before it gets kicked around. But there will be another Untangled for smaller audience
participation?
No, for vendors who have a smaller audience, to grow their audience, kind of. And I believe May. So we will try and keep up on that one. This kind of snuck up on us. For me, it's just been a bit crazy at work, and so I apologize for not having, alerted you all to this before now, and it's over.
Right.
But I'm giving you all a heads up. There will be another Indie Untangled event in May. So get on the newsletter list. They get sent every Friday. They're really not annoying. They're really lovely. And sometimes very enably, as Mom can attest to.
Well, let's talk about how I got enabled this weekend.
Well, so they, for Indie Untangled Everywhere, which was in October, they had bingo.
Right.
And so we participated in that, and they had bingo again this year, which we participated in.
It was a lot of fun. I had started with paper in October, found out that was a mess because I'd only printed out one set of cards, and we did, 5 games?
Yeah, in October we did 5.
In October. So I was taking off my removable markers, and I was using Post-it notes. Well, that was a mess. And she was using the electronic version, which was much simpler. So this time I went with the electronic card on my iPad, and it worked out really well because all I had to do was touch it, and it marked that it was a full square, and touch it again, it was empty. It was great. But Elizabeth came over on Friday this weekend because we had
trivia.
That's right.
Year, this event, they decided to host a trivia night through Sporkle, which if you all are of my age, you will recall from their quizzes online, that were super popular things to do when I was in high school and college. And then they now have trivia on, through Zoom. They do it essentially every night of the week. You can sign up individually or with a full team. And there are multiple topics. I'll put a link below just so you can check it out. It's really interesting. I'm thinking about getting a group together to just do it for different nights because it's a lot of fun to do trivia. So I got a group together to do trivia because I was like, I want to do trivia.
There were 7 of us?
There were 7 of us total. And there were, it was fun because I got to include friends, since it was general knowledge, I included friends who aren't always knitters.
Right.
Or crocheters.
And from a lot
or
of different
stitchers.
backgrounds.
Yes. And a lot of different interests. So,
which was great.
What Mom is alluding to is we won.
Yes.
And what I didn't know when I was signing us up and, asking people if they wanted to be a part of it was that there was going to be prizes. Because when you play with Sporkle, you just play for fun, and if you are part of their league system, you'll get your points will carry for the league standings or whatever that is. So I just thought it was going to be for fun, and I love trivia, and I know a lot of my friends in the before COVID times did trivia nights at different bars wherever they were from, and I really wanted to get into that, and so it was a lot of fun. Mom was very proud of herself for getting a few of the answers, and
yes.
We ended up not missing any of the questions, which was shocking.
We missed 2 parts of the Simpsons
of the bonus questions. Yes,
right. I had never watched The Simpsons. There's no way on God's earth that I could have answered any of those questions, so I was glad I was on a team with a lot of younger members so that they were able to get at least 2 of the 4 answers correct. But the rest of them we got all correct.
Which was really, for me, was surprising because I always expect to be middle of the road. But I put together a very good team, y'all.
We had quite a diverse group, so we had diverse interests. We covered everything.
It was great.
The group was heavily scientific, though.
Yes, we are.
Yes, because we certainly knew our gas, solids, and liquids.
Yes. So I am very excited to see if they do that again for the next event.
Yes,
because even if there are no prizes again, I will be partaking and forming up my team again.
So we got a $25 gift certificate to buy something from the Indie Untangled, their own shop. So I spent that $25 on a $30 skein of yarn
Well, yes.
from
Countess Ablaze.
Countess Ablaze. I wanted to call her Contessa. Oh well.
I mean,
yes, and with that I bought a DK weight yarn that I'm going to use to turn into a toy for someone who is having a baby this spring.
I was going to say the same one as the blanket.
I believe so. And so it's a multicolored skein. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And then Countess Ablaze also had a blue that I think will go with the multicolored blue that I had used to make a dress a couple years ago, but then found that the yarn was distressed. I'm not exactly sure what happened to the yarn. The yarn was old, but this is an old sweater. So being old doesn't really explain what the heck happened to that yarn. It just didn't behave right. It separated, it pilled like a son of a gun. You looked at a chair and it pilled. I mean, it just didn't behave well. So I took out the multicolored yarn, which was a Nerd Girl yarn. Behaved very well. And I threw out the rest of the dress. So.
Oh, you did?
Oh, I did.
Nice.
Gone. Just gone. It just didn't behave well. So now I bought 8 skeins.
To remake the dress.
Yes. I may not use that same pattern.
No,
because
but
I
to
have
make a dress.
Several dress patterns. And then the Nerd Girl is used for collars or cuffs or parts of sleeves and hem. And then the rest of the dress is the all one color. So, yeah.
Nice.
Did I need to buy blue to replace that dress? Well, I did at some point. But considering that we're trying to pack up.
I mean,
maybe,
that's okay.
If another apartment comes on, when that...
You'll be ready to go.
I'll be ready to go.
So, I did buy something. I bought something from Elphaba. Let me look it up, y'all. It is... Please tell me I have it open somewhere. On one of these machines. No, but I can look it up here. It is La Cave Alain.
La Cave Alain.
La Cave Alain.
Yes.
And they have geometric stitch markers.
Oh.
So I got some hexagons, and I got some teardrops, and I got some others, and they were having free shipping. So I got free shipping from France.
Wow.
And there had been those hexagonal stitch markers in the India Untangled bag this year, as well as in the India Untangled. That is pretty. In the India Untangled Countdown to New Year box. And my friend Tanya and I have been on the search for these. Like, no one's business.
You really like them?
Yeah, they don't seem to, like, catch as much. I just really like them. I like the feel of them on the needle. I just really like them. So I got us both sets. I was very excited. But yeah, so I did do that. I'm trying to tell myself I don't need tea towels.
You don't need tea towels.
Thank you.
No.
But those are also very cute. And yeah, but definitely keep an eye out for next event.
Get on the Untangled newsletter.
Yeah.
It's really a good way to keep up with what's going on in the knitting community.
Yeah, and it's also a great event. And they do some fun stuff. Like the trivia was just for any Untangled groups. So it was a small group for this one. Maybe next time if they do it again, it'll be a bigger group.
Yeah, because people have talked about it.
Yeah.
There was a fair number of people at Bingo.
Bingo, I think, was sold out.
Well,
Bingo was sold out last time too. Bingo's a bit
reservationed out because there's no money involved.
Right. But I think Bingo is something that it's, as Dad says, that's a bit more luck than knowledge.
Well, yeah.
And so people might be a little intimidated by trivia.
Trivia, maybe. But it was a ton of fun.
It was. And speaking of
tons of fun
things, I got something in the mail this week. So I guess it was Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales. I got a Winterpalooza box from Lady Di Yarns.
Oh, wow.
So it comes with, let me look at all my sheets of paper.
What you got?
Describing things. So it comes with, I think 1, 2, 3, 4 patterns, and there will be one more bag and another skein of yarn coming to me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this bag from Broken Crafty from Tanita Neals, which is really lovely. Like, I like the weight
nice
of that.
weight, yes.
Yeah, it's not just, it doesn't feel like it's quilting cotton. It feels like it's slightly heavier than that.
Yeah,
The outside.
It's almost on its way to being a duck.
Almost. It's slightly lighter than, it doesn't have the texture of canvas, but it's like that right in between canvas or duck and quilting cotton. So I don't know what that is, but that's what it feels like.
Yes.
And then it came with a notebook.
Oh, very nice.
It says, time to keep warm, no problem. I've got yarn. And it's just a lined notebook, which is really nice. Always good to have that.
Always need notes.
There was a pin on here that apparently I have ripped off of here somewhere.
Oh, it's somewhere.
Oh, good. Well, there was a pin from, I just lost it. Claudia. And now I'm going to have to look for that. That's upsetting.
I bet it's downstairs on the sofa.
Probably. And then there are these stitch markers from Black Pearl Magic.
Nice.
A needle, sizer from A Needle Runs Through It, as well as these little stitch markers. It's a hat and a penguin from A Needle Runs Through It. And then Nerdbird Makery has a Love is the Anchor pin. And we have a single serve of coffee and tea.
Nice.
As well. Yeah. So from Beantown, one is from Beantown Tea and Spices, and this is Coffee by Key.
Very nice.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's yarn, too. Oh, good job. That was me. Well done.
Well done.
Well done. Then we have the yarn. So we have a skein from Me to You yarn.
Nice.
Which is on Steady Sock in Crystal Opal, which is really soft for, it's a sock yarn.
That's
and
nice.
It's really soft, and it's definitely going to become socks.
It's lovely.
There are 2 Mina patterns. There's a Mina Phillips sock pattern that is now in my email that I think will become this pair of socks. There is a Seismic yarn, Seismic butter sock in Winter Mint. Also a Superwash Merino nylon blend. A skein from Lady Di. This is...
Well, you treated yourself very well.
Well, yeah, I did. This was something I bought in November, so it doesn't count for any budgets right now. So this is a fingering weight half skein in Bridgerton Blue.
Oh, how pretty.
Yeah. And then this is from Mitchell's Creations on their DK weight. C'est bon.
Looks like the yarn I used from Emily.
Yeah. So I'm very excited. As I said, the patterns. Oh, so the journal is by Busy Peach, Laverne Benton. Oh, yeah, the button is by Claudia Carpenter, Crochet Luna. The button that I can't find, but it's really cute. So the patterns are, there's a crochet pattern by Jean-Ann Athlow. There's a sock pattern by Mina Phillip. There's a shawl by Hohi Locatelli.
Nice.
And a pattern by Nancy Ricci. So, yeah, I'm really excited. And again, as I said, there's one more bag and one more skein of yarn to be expected coming from the Boston outpost of Lady Di. Because if you don't know, they ship from both California and Boston now.
Oh.
Yeah. Because
she's from Boston.
She is, and they have their main is in Boston, but their logistics coordinator is in California.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, so this is very exciting, and if anyone is, I know I've said this before about Lady Di packages and clubs, they are they're always super filled. I probably didn't read it hard enough to know to expect this. I also honestly have forgotten. Not forgotten it was on my list of packages to expect, because I always have a list of packages to expect.
As one should.
Well, also so that you keep checking, so that you don't end up losing something, in the mail system.
Yes.
So I knew it was coming. I did not realize it was going to have this much yarn in it. I'm very excited. Her packages and clubs are always really well thought out.
They are.
And she does like to support other dyers and craft artists with her work, which is really great.
She does.
And I really like supporting that. I did order one club in the end of January, beginning of February, I think. That should be coming sometime in the next...
You have it on a spreadsheet.
I have it on a page in my notebook that I use for work.
Ah, okay.
That essentially has notes for everything in it.
Okay.
Oh, no, I know what it is.
Okay.
It's the Women of Black Panther Club.
Well, that'll be nice.
I couldn't say no, y'all. I couldn't say no.
Very difficult. And it was brought up this weekend that there are some of the advent calendars already up for pre-order.
Yes. Your girl sitting right here has already ordered one for delivery in October, though.
I have not. And I'm not sure I'm going to go with an advent calendar this year. Although when I see hers, I'm probably going to want it. But I still haven't used any of the advent calendars that I have ever ordered.
Oh.
Except for some of the opal as heels and cuffs. So I haven't found the right pattern for it.
I was going to say, I've made 3 pairs of socks, or 2 pairs of socks, and I've started the third.
With
I need to find it.
Ends, or I could try magic knotting them all together.
Yeah, that's what
but I haven't done that. So I did
that. I did that with the self striping. I have a shawl that the jig shawl that I did this year. I think once I get a few sweaters done, I do have another shawl with the Goosey fibers from 2018, 2019.
So I just
on my floor,
what I may do instead is I may look at what they've got and order, a sweater quantity from here, a sweater quantity from there. That may float my boat a little bit more than getting advent calendars. Although advent calendars are fun because you often forget, or I often forget exactly what I've ordered. So it is fun to get those things that you can open every day. I just haven't really used them.
Definitely.
And I hate having a yarn problem where I'm having trouble figuring out what I'm going to use it for. Please, everybody, wear your mask and be very aware of COVID precautions. We saw in the news tonight that England is going back into quarantine. Paris is shut down. Germany is also being shut down and put back into quarantine.
Well, and Miami Beach is in curfew.
Severe distress because of spring breakers. They have curfews that start at 8 o'clock and they're being ignored. They've brought out SWAT teams to try to get Miami Beach tamped down. Unfortunately, the spring breakers are not for the most part, not wearing their masks. And of course, they haven't been vaccinated. So they're very concerned it's going to turn into a super spreader event. I'm really lucky. The reason we're sitting so close is that I've had all my shots.
I can do this now, guys.
And it's been 2 weeks.
Guys, I can touch my mommy.
And
I made her specifically stand up to give me a hug on Friday because I was like, I want a
I
hug.
need this.
I want a hug.
You know, we're so desirous of stepping out and going someplace. Right now, I think the only place we could go, having had all of our shots, is Iceland, out of the country.
But they had a volcano erupt, so
that would mess up your flights, because as far as I know, all that steam going up in the air, it messes up their airport. And I think they only have one airport in Reykjavik, so it depends on where that volcano is in relation to Reykjavik, and also which way the wind is blowing. So, really, from the bottom of our hearts, please be careful. If you have any concerns about the shots, I would talk to your physician. I can tell you, and I probably mentioned this before, that for our research project, I had to go back and look at maternity rates and infant death rates, as well as childhood death rates from, I believe it was 1900 up to the present, about 10 years ago, so up to about 10 years ago. And maternal death rates and infant and child death rates dropped precipitously like a stone once we got vaccines for measles and mumps and chickenpox and all of those vaccines for polio, and they're hugely important. It can save your life. It can save your child's life. I couldn't believe how drastically important those vaccines were in really decimating this whole idea of infant and child mortality. So check with your physician. Make sure he believes that he or she believes that you are in healthy enough state in order to get a vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
And if they say yes, then please do. And if you're not within those groups that allow you to have shots as yet, although Alaska, Connecticut, and a few other states are now opening up for anybody 16 and above, that will be coming to the rest of us.
And just stay diligent if you are eligible but cannot get an appointment. As it opens up further, it will get more and more difficult to get a vaccine.
It's like concert tickets.
Yes.
And try every different kind of venue. Richard and I really had trouble getting appointments at state-run sites. And when I heard that Walgreens and CVS were opening up in different states, I then went on their websites and was able to get appointments for us at Walgreens. And very close by. I mean, we got it within a mile and a half of the house. Mm-hmm. Parking was not even an issue. They had chairs. I mean, it couldn't have been easier. Meanwhile, we have friends who've gone into New York City to the Javits Center. Some have gone to Aqueduct. So I would try all the different venues. And it's really a not give up situation. And if you were trying to get concert tickets to your favorite band, you would do this. You would do this without question. Or trying to get tickets to your favorite Broadway show.
Well, and Mom said it was also like sometimes you were continually looking because maybe something showed up. Like that one time you went and looked at a Volunvine update a year ago.
Yes.
And what she was looking for was there and available. And it was like hours after the update. So Mom was clicking on it just to click on it, thinking it was all going to be sold out. It wasn't. So have that kind of mentality. That's kind of the mentality I'm having about it, because out of my immediate family, these three, the three of us, I am the last one who will be eligible because none of my comorbidities with each other are comorbidities with COVID-19.
Migraine doesn't count.
Apparently. Doesn't count.
And you don't have asthma.
I don't have asthma.
You get asthmatic bronchitis, but not asthma.
Yeah. So that
You're not overweight. By the way, I didn't lose any weight this week, didn't gain any weight, so holding steady, which is not uncommon. Fine. Right.
So, but yeah,
there's some people that are following my weight.
Oh, I did not know. Yes. I did not know.
Yes.
Oh.
So.
Well, I am glad that you are keeping everyone apprised.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's that.
We went on a walk today.
We did go on a walk today.
It's so nice out today, and it's supposed to be nice tomorrow. So
it's
tomorrow,
really nice that it's not icy.
I may grab Richard and hijack him down to Jones Beach and
nice.
walk on the boardwalk. We don't generally go on the weekend because it's more crowded then. And I'd rather be able just to walk rather than play dodgem cars. But it was beautiful today, so we went on a walk.
Yes.
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 Got about a mile in, I think.
We got 1.5 kilometers.
Okay.
So, yeah. But I think
we're going to go watch the game.
We're going to go watch the game. So, talk to you all later.
That's right.
And weave in those ends. I've already woven in my ends. So
have a great week, and we'll see you next weekend.
Bye.